Good Tuesday. I think it's still morning. Um, just gonna hop in, do a couple of things and talk to y'all about because we need to. Um, if you hear Mayor in the background, he is on a bland diet. He is not fond of his bland diet. Um, but he's okay. He just has to, he had a little bout of diarrhea, so he's on his little bland diet, which does not include his NAMIs that he's used to getting every day. Um, so yesterday he was okay with not getting the NAMIs because he felt really yucky. So today he's kind of feeling better and he's kind of like, give me NAMIs. Um, I'm gonna feed him a little bit more here in a little bit. He's with the bland diet. He's also getting smaller meals, but he's getting them more often. Um, just because we don't want anything coming, we want it to come out the back end in the right shape, and we don't want it to come out the front end. So that's where we're at. He was supposed to see the vet this morning, but since his stool firmed up, he went to observation until Monday morning. He has a weigh-in Monday. Um, he's due his pill for fleas and heartworms and all that stuff, and he has to be weighed until he gets to be a full-grown puppy dog. And he has sibling puppy dogs as of 2 days ago. And yes, I want every single one of them, and no, it ain't gonna happen. We're gonna hop into something that, and all of this kind of ties together, and it's kind of neat how it did, because it just did. We're gonna hop into, we haven't done a CR thing for a while, um, and this is day 100. And whenever I tell you that we haven't done, I mean me, okay, and I haven't shared one with you, and um, you know, this is just what we do. Day 100 is ongoing inventory. If you think you are standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. 1 Corinthians 10 and 12. My wife was asleep in the car as we were returning from a trip. The cars in front of me suddenly slowed down, but I wasn't paying attention. Overcompensating for my late reaction, I put on the brakes a lot more aggressively than I should have. My wife was jerked awake, catapulted forward, and suddenly stopped by her seatbelt. She responded by shouting in fear, "What in the world are you doing?" I snapped right back at her. "Go back to sleep. I've got this under control." As soon as I said these words, I knew I had a choice to make. I could admit that I was wrong. I should have been paying attention to my driving, and I should not have snapped at my wife. I could make amends. I could say nothing. I could say I was sorry for speaking so sharply and not paying better attention. Excuse me, Kentucky allergies, sorry. I could do nothing. I could wait until later and risk rationalizing the incident away, creating resentment between us. After all, she should have known I had it under control. We've never been in a wreck, have we? I chose numbers 1 and 2. In the past, I might have been tempted to choose number 3. It's often easier to rationalize our way out of something than to admit we are wrong. That's why it's so important to let God help us an, keep a constant inner inventory. And our prayer is, Lord, thank you for helping me make the right choices, those that are pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Kind of just, let's do this. Um, I think I've told you already, trying to eat better. I'm sorry, my eyes are itching. Um, and in doing so, trying to do a higher protein, lower carb. I have to be careful. What a lot of diets that do high carb or do low carb tend to not tell you is that your brain needs carbs. So you have to kind of you have to find your healthy balance, and that's what we've been doing in my world. It's been going well. I've lost a few pounds. I feel better overall. The last couple of days, not so much. Um, but it goes with the territory. Um, I'm When Mayor woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, he basically pulled me down the stairs, for lack of a better way of putting it. it. Not really, but kind of. He was awake. He knew he had to go. I had to wake up, and I was not fully awake. So when we're navigating the steps and navigating to get to the back door, he's ready to go. I'm kind of like, not so, so there was a little disturbance in the force, and he pulled on my shoulder harder than what he normally would. Thankfully, it's this shoulder this time and not this shoulder, because this is the ouchie shoulder anyway. Um, but anyway, going back into what the points that I want to make with this video, um, my mouth, my goodness, I have struggled with my mouth and my tongue so very much lately. Um, some of it is because I've been watching way too much in the areas of YouTube that I normally do not watch. And I have a whole opinion on that. Whole opinion. And every time I watch it, I'm reminded why I don't quickly. Um, because I just want to, like, say, turn this off and do something else. Um, Straight up. Um, that sounds way uglier than I mean for it to do. If you do YouTube and you're doing it as a job and you're making a living, more power to you. I don't. And I don't, the drama side of it is just, it's never appealed to me. And even the times that I try to, it just doesn't work for me. It brings out a side of me that is so just not in line with who I am and where, I'm not that person. Um, I left that person behind. Um, so I have to find a little cotton pad because I don't have anything else close. It's Kentucky. It's allergies. I'm sorry. Um, uh, that was the other thing that kind of blows my mind is full on, just blowing your nose on camera and stuff like that. It's like, really, stop. I have to wipe mine every so often, but, if you hadn't got to blow your nose, stop the camera. It's not that hard. Um, I don't get it. It's just not, that drama side is just not for me. What I've noticed, and we know this to be true, we are taught this as children, we are taught this as teenagers, we are taught this as adults, and sometimes it just takes somebody to reiterate, you become what if you eat poorly, your body is going to react to not having the good nutrition. If you listen to things that are constantly negative, constantly tearing down, constantly, you're going to become that person. If you listen to language that you don't uh, use, here's where we get real. Y'all know, I thought I had that battle conquered. But as time, I've learned, especially since we got mayor, I have learned that um, it's not so much conquered as much as I thought it was. And it's also it's not always an intentional, I mean to say that bad word. And in my word, in our house, they're bad words. I know some people say there are no bad words. There's foul language, okay? There's inappropriate language. So there's language that makes you not look as smart as you are. We'll leave it there. If you disagree with me, that's okay. You can disagree with me. This is how I feel. Um, so, but for me, I've apologized to my neighbors because it's like, oh, that came out of me. You know, get frustrated or something with Mayor during training or something, and or just, you know, trying to get him to come back in the house or something, and get aggravated, frustrated, and the next thing you know, out of frustration, the word that I mean to say flips and becomes another word that I don't mean to say, and it's not always that way. There have been a time or two that what I've said has been what I was thinking, and it didn't run through the filter, and I had to go back and fix that. Um, the same thing happens with anger and emotions. I've had to back up and fix things. It's kind of been a little bit easier this time because my anger, everything was in the last couple of 3 weeks, everything that I was angry about was justified. Everything that needed corrected. There were just some things that just went off the rails and it had to be fixed. So the point, I guess, of this is that while I'm kind of rambly talking, the inner inventory that you keep on your sobriety, on how you want to live your life, you have to check that often, daily, often. You have to check and say, okay, is my mind where it should be? My mind has not been. I will tell you straight up, it has not been. Um, Although today, actually, 6 weeks since I've had a migraine. Um, which, if you followed this channel for any amount of time, you know that's huge. Um, did not take the Amavig, did not take the Nurtec, have not used Imitrex, have not used Maxalt, have not used pain medicine other than Motrin or Tylenol or something like that for the regular pain. It doesn't really help, but it doesn't knock the pain like it would be really nice for it to, but it helps a little bit. I've been using supplements, and so far so good, and eating better. Um, so the one thing that I will tell you is that yesterday and today, could probably throw Sunday in there too, um, I found myself being sloppy. Um, the weather has me achy and all that neat stuff, so my step count is down lower. Um, I messed up the night before last with my food. Not really bad, but bad enough. Um, that don't sound right at all, does it? Whenever I take my medication at night, it harbors it 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 takes away the the unhealthy thoughts that I have about food, for lack of a better way of putting it. And it's not necessarily unhealthy. It's it takes away my portion control, my, you know, and So we, with that knowledge, generally once I take my medicine, I've been shutting everything down and turn the computer on to a classical music, some type of background noise, some type of something, and just going to bed and being done. A few nights I've not done that, so I've eaten like more chips than what I should. Um, Stuff like that. It's kind of minor, especially given the fact that, generally speaking, although, trust me, I see this body just like you do. My eating disorder, or my disordered eating, however you want to address it, is I am fall under the anorexic category. Even though I have weight and for the longest time had it under control, I do not at this point in time. So that's what we're working on. And we're working on my mouth because I thought I had it under control. Do not. Um, so, that's just where we are. My ears are itching so bad that I cannot stand it. Allergies in Kentucky are all that I can tell you. There seems to be like a plethora of fluid coming out of my ears, and it is itchy and it's yicky. So anyway, all of that being said, that inner inventory, just be just because you mess up don't mean you quit. It took me a long time to go from being extremely I was able to wear, at 40 years old, I was able to fit into junior size clothing. That's how bad the anorexia got. Um, I was literally starving myself. I was forcing down those nutritional shakes that you get from Kroger. I can't think of the name of them right offhand. I was using the Kroger brand because I literally had gotten myself to where I had no appetite. Every bit of food was gross and disgusting, and if I did eat, it would make me really, really sick. And so, that was the steps back to getting healthy, and then, kind of went, then I discovered donuts. We'll leave that there. Um, but more than not, I'm not, I tend to not be a binge eater. Um, I tend to get too hungry and eat too much too quick. It's totally different than binging. Um, that is something that I'm working on, because I'm working on not letting myself get hungry. And for all my life, my mom said, Papa always said, which is what she called her dad, uh, eat to keep yourself from getting hungry. And I never could really understand that concept until now. And it's like, this makes total sense. Now I'm going to share with you some of the things that have been helpful for me. Boiled eggs are one of them. I know you don't have to tell me, but when we have boiled eggs in the house, it's something quick that I can have for breakfast. Um, I bought frozen sausage biscuits, frozen croissants, stuff like that. Quick do, because in quick do, that keeps me on track. Um, I didn't think these would be a thing for me. I didn't think that I would be able to like them. I didn't think they would. I was really sure they would probably trigger a headache. Thankfully, and I mean very thankfully, they do not. Little Quest bars. I started with these. They're the chocolate chip cookie dough flavor. This was the first ones that I went with. I enjoy these. It's not just a matter of, it's something that I know that is giving me protein, which my body needs. Um, but it's also enjoyable. And with my supplements, I have to eat food with them. So if I eat a Quest bar instead of another snack that I could choose, like, chips. Chips are my weakness. Um, this is a better choice. Uh, and I will tell you, I tried the double, let me do this, the double chocolate chunk. I'm liking on those. In the nighttime, in the evenings, whenever I have to take my last medicines, and maybe want something sweet, that's the go-to thing. I tried, just for kicks and giggles, the birthday cake. Because I was thinking, I'm not really a huge fan of cake and birthday cake and all that good stuff, but I thought, it might come in handy as a treat of some sort. Well, yeah, it does. I like it. They have icing on it, and it's just a neato little treat. And when we went to Radcliffe the last time and went to the cemetery, we discovered that my favorite German restaurant had closed. And that German restaurant had the best lemon cake. I loved it. When we lived there, I would go by and get, have coffee and a piece of cake. When we moved away, when we went to Radcliffe, we would stop coming home and, get whatever was left. Or there was a time that Tom called and ordered me an entire cake after we buried my dad. He took me there. I don't remember it because I was so exhausted. I vaguely remember, let me put it that way, I vaguely remember leaving the cemetery and going to the German restaurant. And I remember the cake and eating the cake when I got home. I may have eaten some in the car, I can't remember, but I was at my point of exhaustion, and I was just like, I didn't even go to dinner with my family. It was like, it's like, take me home. I'm done. Take me home. I'm done. But anyway, I love lemon cake. Love this German lemon cake the most. So we tried this. It's lemon cake flavor. And while it is not my favorite lemon cake, it is something that is in the cycle of things that I can have that's still a high protein kind of treat. So it's helpful. And this is how I'm helping my inner inventory keep me on track for eating better foods. Now, at some point, because I get, all of this is processed. I get that. These are tools that are helping me get to where I want to be. Now, the Quest chips, I do not care for. Some people may. I still like I went to a lightly salted chip. At the moment, it's working. Progress. And I have realized that I've kind of totally gotten away from my point. So we're going to just kind of hush rambling. But I want you to know, baby steps, your inner inventory. We can hide a lot of stuff from a lot of people, even people that you're living in the same house with. You can hide stuff. from them. Um, my husband is very aware of the disordered eating. He cannot do this for me. He can say, you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. Or he can say, okay, I know you haven't eaten today, so come on, we're going to get you something. I'll stop by a restaurant or whatever, you got to eat. He can't make me. Even if I eat that thing, he can't make me. Do you understand what I'm saying? He can't make me follow a good, healthy eating plan. Um, and right now, that's where my inner inventory is food. Getting a better relationship with food, because it's the hardest thing that I struggle with. Um, I don't struggle at all with alcohol. There are times that I wonder why, whenever there's a whole lot of stuff going on, there are times that I do wonder why I am sober. But, and there are times that, and I don't mean that the way, I shouldn't say that. Um, there are times that things happen and I can understand. It's a better way of putting it. I can understand why I hid from things and why I used alcohol to hide from things. There are some things that just smack you right upside the head and blow up in your face, and you're just kind of like going, and I get it. I really understand why it was a tool for me to hide. Um, I don't hide from that stuff anymore. I just don't. I deal with it. I process it. Um, if it means that I yell at somebody, or that I, you know, express an opinion or whatever, that's what I do. I don't have time anymore. You don't have time anymore to deal with stuff. And I guess that's where part of this, without some of the stuff that people spend hours on the internet watching, and watching certain people's every single move. Guys, it's making your brains mush. Stop. Even if your brain isn't mush now, it's affecting you. Um, please, if you're going to do this, please use caution and guard your mental health. Guard your peace. Guard everything that really matters in your everyday life, because at the end of the day, when you close this computer, when you close YouTube, when you close TikTok, when you close all this other stuff, the only thing that matters is your inner inventory, your inner peace, your inner who you are to the people that are really in your world. And it's not one creator in particular, there's a whole lot. Um, anyway, I'm going to end this, because if not, I'm going to delve into some things that I really just don't want to. But my message is to man your inner inventory. Guard your heart. Guard your peace. Guard your joy. Guard your family. Gatekeep things out of your family. Gatekeep it off your screens to protect your peace and your family, because it's not worth it. There's nothing in this world that is worth your peace and your family's peace. Nothing. No amount of money, no amount of anything is worth not having peace and not having joy. It's just not. And not, you know, Keep that inner inventory. That inner inventory will keep you guarding your peace. It will keep you guarding your mental health. It will keep you working towards healthier, better goals. It will keep you sober. It will keep you healing. We got another video coming up that we're going to talk about that deals with another piece of healing that happened with me. It's coming up probably later on this week. But guard that. You're worth it. Know your worth. Remember, I love y'all. I'm the mayor's daughter. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Guard your peace. Guard your mental health. Turn off all this extra noise. Whether it's the internet, the TV, the neighbors, whatever. Turn it all off. And get alone with yourself and get your inner self lined up. I love you. I mean it. Really do. Take care.